Hi, Pat the Podcast Editor here. Have you ever been catfished by a business? This week, Dan and Lloyd are bringing you some of the telltale signs that a business might not deliver what they say they can.
Don't get catfished.
Have you ever been catfished?
No.
Oh, you've actually never been on any dates, have you?
No, didn't really have the opportunities. Even the catfishers didn't want to meet me.
But instead of Victoria, the Instagram model who keeps asking for your credit card details, it's underqualified companies that try to impress you with confusing jargon.
That's mainly because of the ROI on the
ROAS of
the APD.
Yeah.
Now, enthusiasm goes a long way in any business, but as anyone that's ever touched a dating app will tell you, not everyone is going to be interested in what you have to say.
If you feel like these guys have got all these exciting things going on and they didn't seem overly bothered about doing this work, then they're probably not.
Oh, and while you're here, if at any point you're enjoying the show, give us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe, show a friend. It really goes a long way to helping us bring the show to more people. Thank you. Right, strap in, boys and girls. It's time for episode 48 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
What is a marketing agency catfish?
That is a good question, Dan. You are really good at questions.
Thanks.
Well done. Well, you can disagree with me if you want. My idea of a marketing agency catfish is a marketing agency that promises more than they can actually deliver, or lets you down, or basically is just in it for profit, making money themselves, and they're not going to give you a good service.
And we kind of feel like we're the good guys in marketing. So,
Well, it'd be rubbish if we started, and we're one of those.
no. So I think it's good. This is going to be useful for anyone who's ever thought about hiring a marketing agency or looking for marketing support. It's going to be useful to make sure you get the right people and the right company.
And also, just so you know, this isn't a negative thing of like, oh, we've got people in mind that, oh, we're talking about them.
We're going to call them out.
This is very general, and obviously without us working with agencies, we don't know who's who and who are the bad guys and the good guys, really. But we basically don't want anyone to get ripped off, and we thought this might be a good guide to that kind of thing.
So I want to start with my first, because we're going to basically go through what you need to look out for to find these.
Yeah. Okay.
So my first point, and I think this is I think there's some debate on this, but I'm really keen on this. If a marketing agency isn't good at marketing their agency, I think that's a sign that they could be a marketing catfish.
Yes.
You know, like the cobblers. There's that.
It's very easy to make the excuse, and it's made a lot, I think, of we're so busy with clients, we can't do our own marketing. And it's like, well, if you were good at running a business and you were good at marketing, you could do some good marketing.
You'd have the time,
But
there's definitely some out there.
But
we can't
I
just
think
tarnish everyone with the same brush.
At that point isn't necessarily like they're trying to rip you off.
No.
It just might be a sign that they're not as good as some other options that you have to choose from. Because when we're
starting lightly here, Lloyd.
When we were starting out, there were times when our marketing wasn't as good as it could be. So I think there's definitely the element of that. It's not like, oh, they're trying to rip you off.
I also think when we started out, we weren't as good as, nowhere near as good at marketing as we are now, but we charged for the amount of value we thought we were providing. So there could be people who are new in marketing who are charging a lot less. If they're providing that value, then
Yep. Do you want to hear my first
go on,
one?
let's hear what you've got.
My first one.
How are you going to find these catfish, Lloyd?
Starting strong.
Go on.
They agree with everything you want.
Yeah.
Because that might sound good, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I've asked them to create me a 2-minute talking head video because I want to sell more milk.
Sounds good.
Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
they've said, I'll do it.
It's a good idea.
I think a really good sign to identify that someone's not a catfish in the marketing space is that you say, I want to do this. And they say, okay, interesting. From our experience, you'd get much better results doing this. So it's like...
I don't actually agree with you.
Oh.
No, I'm just doing...
Oh, because you don't agree. Oh, God. We have a laugh here on the Business Anchors podcast, guys, if you're a new listener.
No, I do think that's a good point. I do also think I genuinely do have a bit of a disagreement in some capacity. There are some people, or like marketers that just disagree with everything to then look like they're
But I suppose using examples from our own agency of why I think this shows that agreeing with everything is a bad thing and taking the opposite approach probably shows that you're providing more value. We turn down a lot of work because we say we don't agree to do work for people because we say that's not going to get you the results you want. So we're not going to take on that.
Then you're not going to be happy. And
you've got a £10,000 budget. You've set out this thing you want to do, and we know that you're not going to get anywhere near £10,000 back or any more. Yeah. So we're not going to do that with you unless you really, really want to. And you said to us, I know it's not going to get results, but I still want to do it. And it's like, okay.
You're mental.
Yeah. And the other side of, the fact that when people do come to us, it's that thing of whenever you're shopping for something that you're not necessarily an expert in, you think you want one thing, but there are lots of other things that will probably do a better job. And I think we often have that.
And I also think it's the ability to be ethical. And if someone's coming to us saying, we want to be number one on Google and rank number one, SEO would probably be best for that. And that's not something we specialize in. So we wouldn't be saying, we'll do a social media campaign to get you to, we'd kind of say, you're probably looking for an SEO agency, not us.
Yeah. Nice.
I'll give you one. I think this touches on a point that we actually got some really good feedback for in the Friday Club, which is our weekly email, when I shared this podcast, when you spoke about it, marketing with proof, not promises.
I remember saying that.
Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, I thought that was quite profound.
And this, what I'm saying by that is, if you're approached or engaging with a marketing agency that doesn't have much proof, aka tangible data and evidence to show that they've delivered the results you're looking for other similar businesses, that could be a sign that they're not going to be the best agency for you if they just don't have those results.
Yeah, and I also think if, going off that point, if their kind of case studies or evidence of results are extremely vague, that would be another...
We improved stuff.
Yeah, because if it's... So say you've got one agency that's... I worked with Bob's Milk. I don't know why milk's on my brain.
Weirdo.
Bob's Milk. And Bob said, I got this testimonial from Bob, it's been great working with the guys. Really good work. I'm sure it's going to be great. Like, that's a testimonial they've got on day 2. And he's just enjoyed working with them so far. Yeah. Whereas you've got someone else that's got...
Sandra's Milk.
Sandra's Milk. And it's like... Yeah.
Sorry.
Sandra's Electronics. A testimonial, and it says all that good stuff. I worked with them. They helped us to improve profitability by 50%, and our sales went up. And then underneath, there's stats of like this many sales.
This is return on investment.
Profit. They got this many clicks to the homepage.
Yeah.
It
holds a lot more clout.
Yeah, I think so. The vagueness is another point of that evidence. Yeah.
What else have you got for me, Lloyd? How can we spot some marketing agency catfish?
This is appropriate for any industry, I think.
Okay.
But marketing agencies are what we're talking about. They have more people in sales roles than focused on client delivery.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never thought of that.
So I think if a company has got 10 people doing telesales and they've got 3 people providing a service, then there's 10 people, then it's like that business is very good at sales, but they're not getting any sales from returning customers or anything
Depends
like that.
Depends what the service is. I'm trying to think of a service that takes very little time.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
That ruins my point there. So,
No, but I can't think of any, so you may be right.
Yeah, I just think it's a bit of a red flag. Like,
they sell loads of stuff and then...
Most of the time, if you're doing good work, the good work does part of the sales job for you. So that business has got people come to them because they're doing a great job constantly. Whereas if there's, a graphic design agency, they got 2 graphic designers and then a team of 5 salespeople. Yeah. You think, well, actually, this business is just good at selling graphic design services, not necessarily doing it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And there's my only caveat would be if it's a business that's growing extremely fast, it might be that they're offering this great thing and they're like, hang on, we could scale this up 3 million% this year.
Yeah.
So they're...
Yeah.
But
I just had a thought of something that disagrees with that. If it was a digital product that's easily scalable, like a digital course or something that's already there, do you know what I mean? That then, in terms of delivery, it's already... The technology is online is delivering it itself.
A digital course, yeah, but there's been lots of people working on making that digital course.
Oh,
as
okay,
good
right,
as it is.
yeah, not just 3 people, right?
Because I think again, if there's one guy that's created a digital course and he's got 10 people selling it, I'd say that digital course is probably not good.
Cool. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got one. I think marketers are very good at making things sound more complicated than they are, so that we can more easily sell stuff. And not we, sorry, I don't mean.
That's
but
mainly because of the ROI on the
ROAS of the
APD.
Yeah.
But looking at the big picture and clouds and dirt.
What about the qualities of data?
I agree. People using words with customers,
cloud systems,
that makes them think, God, these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Did you hear them say that stuff that we don't get?
I always try and the thing I speak about a lot when I'm on other podcasts and stuff is marketing with logic and keeping things really simple and understanding the basic, what are the steps someone goes through to research and identify a product that they want. Understand that and then market to them in those places in a logical manner rather than do this crazy technical stuff.
There are ways that you could describe that using a lot more marketing jargon and technical words. But when you're communicating with a client outside of the marketing world, or even just not doing it day in, day out, and that's their job, why would you communicate like that other than just trying to sound impressive?
Yeah. I think because you want to act like, oh, this is way too complicated for you to understand. You're going to have to pay us to do it because you would never understand how to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And with that, again, I know I keep saying about caveats. Some people aren't doing that to try and trick you. They just think they have to use words like that
to
prove their value. So it's not always someone trying to screw you over. But I would just, maybe if you're talking to someone like that, you could say, in layman's terms, can we just go over what we discussed the other day so I can understand it and then decide whether... Don't kind of go, wow, they spoke about this stuff I didn't get, so I'm going to have to pay someone a lot of money.
No, yeah.
Great.
What have you got?
Well, one thing on pricing, I would say, again, this is a red flag, not always meaning someone's trying to screw you over, but it could be a sign. They're much cheaper than all your other options.
Yeah. When you see there's people that offer monthly social media management for like a few £100, which I think is just mental.
Well, I think if your objective is to have posts going out on your social media pages...
Good ones, though.
No, not good ones. Then you can pay a couple of £100 to someone for a month and make that happen.
So again, do anything though.
When people have come to us and said, "Oh, this company will do this for £200 a month," we've said,
"Good luck."
We said, we won't do anything near that budget because we know that your business isn't going to get any value from it. So we're not going to take your money to do that sort of work.
Like you said earlier, looking at some of the, some people approach us with a significant budget, but they're, because even startup businesses, but still it's not, we don't believe it's enough to get them the results they want. So we do, like even recently, I'm thinking of an example in my head. We had a cool, exciting opportunity, but the budget we believe they that they had to invest to get the results they wanted was way more than even the big budget they had. So
it's also using the logic as well of, if say you've got three quotes, you got one for £5,000, £6,000, and one for £850.
Yeah.
What are the chances that the person or business you pay £850 will even have the amount of resources to do a good job for you? If you think, if you're not paying someone the amount they need to do a good job, don't expect to do it.
It's not like seeing a bargain in Tesco's. Wow, that chocolate milk is actually way cheaper, but I know it's good quality. It's like you literally...
Because if those people quoting £5,000 and £6,000, unless they're making like an 80% profit margin on their services, which would be absolutely crazy, then they're throwing a lot of that price is the resources and work and time.
People needed to do the job.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you're not paying for that, you're not going to get it back.
Yeah. Another one I think is when marketing companies are still giving the same advice that they gave 5 or 10 years ago. Like exactly the same advice. I just think things in the marketing space change every day. So if you see, this advice we were giving 6 months, a year ago, that I would think that's changed.
Yeah.
I know there's core pieces of strategic advice, but
Yeah, I think that's good. That one doesn't warrant more discussion. That's not that good.
Okay.
I'm only joking. Next one, you can tell me if this one's rubbish.
Go on.
There are any signs of them not being 100% transparent. So, as an example, they're managing your Facebook ads, but they won't let you see the Facebook ad account. They're doing it separate. They'll handle it, don't worry. I just think there's absolutely no value to you as a paying customer to not see it.
Yeah.
It may be that they're like, oh, we don't want you changing things and stuff.
It's way too complicated for you to understand.
The only value of an agency not showing you stuff is to hide something.
Yeah. We're doing this good stuff, promise.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're doing loads of good stuff. Oh, yeah, that £8,000 on ads. Yeah, we spent all of that, honestly. There's just no reason. So it would be an immediate, because we get a lot of people come to us that say, oh, yeah, our old agencies, they don't let us see any of the stuff behind the scenes. They just, they send good reports of what's happened, but we don't see. Yeah. And yeah, there's just no good reason for it.
I think also on the back of that, if you get any sort of inklings that they're not being honest, like even if they say something and you sort of ask a follow-up question, oh, that's interesting, how did that happen? And they go, this thing did. It's kind of like, oh, you're just saying, you're over kind of selling again, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
Cool. Any more? Have you got any more?
I've realised this one isn't necessarily about catfish, but just about probably a business to avoid working with.
Yeah.
They're ultra competent and seem like they'll do a really good job, but they're dicks.
Yeah.
Because I think if you think you're going to work with this agency or this company, you're trying to find someone to work with on a long-term basis, even if they're going to do a good job, if every time you've got to communicate with them or talk to them, you're thinking, oh man, like they're just not nice. They're just not nice people, and they take the piss out of me, and it's really they put me down. It's like, do you really want that? Like, because there are people that are really good at stuff, and because they're arrogant and they don't care, and they talk to you like a piece of
shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whereas we are good.
You're probably too nice, Lloyd.
I'll take that. Was that supposed to be an insult?
Yeah.
Have you got any more, Dan?
No, I think I've given my main ones away.
Can I go for more?
Go on.
They say they can do it all.
There are full service agencies though.
There are. Yeah, so okay, you're not a catfish. But I would say if you've got a small agency
that can do it all,
I'd be thinking.
Yeah.
Again, so say you've got two people pitching you. You've got a small agency of 10 people, and they say, we're a full service marketing agency. We can do SEO, we do creative video, we do paid social ads, we do email, all this stuff.
Yeah.
We build websites. Like, okay. Then you've got one that you've gone to for SEO, and they're the same side and say, yeah, all we do is SEO. All their time, every day, all their people are focused on that. They're going to be better at that than the person where there's one person.
I think that's why when we started, my vision was we were going to be a full service agency. And eventually we realised that we got really good at a certain niche and then stuck to that. So
we focused on what we were best at doing.
Yeah, and I feel very comfortable saying on sales calls and stuff and meetings and pitches, when they say, can you do this and that, I'm very comfortable saying it's not really our speciality.
I used to feel when we were younger and growing the business at the start, it was a negative thing to say, oh no, we can't really do that. But now I think
it gives more,
now saying,
shows your integrity and your like trust.
Saying, oh, we don't do that because we only do the stuff we're really good at.
Yeah.
Surely that's a good thing. Cool. Nice.
Any more? You got a couple of shit ones now.
I've got loads, but I'm just trying to think if there's any. One was they have a win mentality, but I've kind of covered that, like literally
a win mentality.
Yeah, you know my win thing. If their only win they're focused on is, I'm going to grow my business and make it profitable. I don't give a shit about anyone else. But
I guess how do you see the signs for that, though?
Don't know. So that's not a good one, is it?
Scraping the barrel now, Lloyd.
Yeah. I think they're my my best ones, I reckon.
Yeah.
What one I've got is...
They don't have strong feelings or values. Is that the one you're about to say?
No, it wasn't. You're reading my notes. They don't act like they're excited by working with you. I think that's a bit of a red flag. If you feel like these guys have got all these exciting things going on and they didn't seem overly bothered about doing this work, then they're probably not. Yeah. So
that's
not much more to be said on that.
I think that is a good point, because in pitches, I think there is a common theme of all of the pitches we win, we're excited about.
Yes.
In
obviously.
some capacity, so.
I'm not going to say I'm not now. Yeah, you're right. But I think that comes across with us when we talk to people. Like, it would be quite obvious, I think, unless you're a very good actor.
Yeah.
And you're not. So.
No, I'm terrible.
So if Dan's saying something to you, you know it's true.
Cool, I think that's useful.
Yeah. So
hopefully you like this, Anchors.
Don't get catfished.
Have you ever been catfished?
No.
Oh, you've actually never been on any dates, have you?
No, didn't really have the opportunities to be catfished.
You were friend zoning everyone.
Even the catfishers didn't want to make me.
Well, thanks for listening, Anchors. And if you enjoyed this, please do... What do we want people to do? Tell everyone about it. Share it everywhere.
Yeah. Graffiti. That made no sense, did it?
I got your point.
But yeah, please tell your friends and colleagues that would like it, and because we really like recording it, we'd love to do it more. So thanks, guys.
See you next week in your ears.
We'll be in your ears.